2019 has been a big year for Eastern North Carolina, from the search for missing 3-year-old Casey Hathaway to the passing of Congressman Walter B. Jones to Hurricane Dorian. Here are this year's top 10 stories. 3-year-old Casey Hathaway of Ernle went missing from his grandmother's front yard in late January. He was amazingly found after 3 freezing days and nights. Hundreds of volunteers, along with law enforcement, drones, and helicopters, were searching for Hathaway, combing every inch of what was described as treacherous woods near his grandmother's house. Right when things started to look dim and with bad weather approaching, Hathaway was found alive just a quarter of a mile from where he went missing.
We brought Casey to his family just like we said we were going to do. We did not give up. We were very persistent.
Casey was transported to Carolina East Medical Center for treatment and went home in good spirits shortly after. Congressman Walter B. Jones Jr. passed away in February at the age of 76. Born in Pitt County, Jones went on to serve the people of Eastern North Carolina for more than 34 years in the state's 3rd congressional district seat. He stood up for Americans who needed a voice, was a champion for our men and women in uniform and their families, and was widely admired across the political spectrum.
All in all, if I can't do what I think is right for the people, then I probably shouldn't be there.
And following the passing of Walter B. Jones Jr., there was an election to fill the late congressman's District 3 seat. More than 24 candidates filed to run by mid-March, with the primary election on April 30th. After the primary, Alan Thomas won the spot on the ticket for the Democratic Party, and there was a runoff election for the Republican spot between Dr. Joan Perry and Dr. Greg Murphy. Murphy won the runoff. Tim Harris moved on for the Libertarian Party and Greg Holt for the Constitution Party. Dr. Greg Murphy won the election for the District 3 seat.
I think we're really excited to be here. The voters of the 3rd District spoke, and I'm honored and humbled to be their servant and ready to get to work.
The Atlantic Beach community mourned the loss of a community leader, friend, husband, and father. Atlantic Beach Fire Chief Adam Snyder passed away in March after a snow skiing accident in Virginia. He was 47 years old. Snyder served the community for 22 years, 15 as the fire chief. Before that, he was a rescue swimmer for the United States Marine Corps.
He was like the young man in town that really cared about town and really did a lot of things for a lot of people.
Chief Snyder was a beloved part of the Atlantic Beach community and is remembered by all. 2 teens lost their lives after being caught in a rip current on Emerald Isle in April. 17-year-old Paige Miracle and 18-year-old Ian Lewis were on spring break at the beach and went swimming despite the threat of severe weather. Emerald Isle agencies responded to a water rescue call where they found Miracle and transported her to a nearby hospital. She later passed away. Lewis's body was recovered days later. Since then, Miracle's parents have been spreading awareness about rip current safety.
If you panic and you turn over and try to swim against this thing,
you won't make it.
It's going to be a bad ending.
In the past several months, they've been invited to several towns to speak about their campaign, Don't Fight the Rip. On June 2nd, 17-year-old Paige Winter was bitten by a shark in Atlantic Beach while swimming with her family. She was taken to Vidant Medical Center in Greenville. Winter's left leg had to be amputated and she lost 2 fingers. But in her own statement, she said, "I will be okay." Winter received free prosthetic assistance courtesy of East Carolina Brace and Limb Company.
I was praying. I'm 17. I got so much to do. And it's true. I have a lot to do. And I think with this situation, I can transform it into something that's not like, oh, how tragic.
The ECU baseball team celebrated a successful 19 after making it to a Super Regionals. The Pirates finished with an impressive 47-18 overall record while going 20-4 in conference play. That was enough to earn them the 2019 AAC regular season championship, and they went on to host the 2nd straight regionals in Greenville at Clark LeClaire Stadium. The Pirates fell short in the Super Regional against Louisville, but are looking forward to big things in 2020.
We're a lot better today than we were 2 months ago, so we definitely got some more work to do, but happy the way the guys improved over the course of the fall.
President Donald Trump made a stop in Greenville in July as part of his 2020 campaign tour. The Make America Great Again rally brought thousands into the community, many from other states. The president spoke at Minges Coliseum on ECU's campus about job growth, the economy, and immigration. A controversial chant broke out at the rally where attendees cheered "Send her back" in response to a tweet by the president about Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
Well, I would say that I was not happy with it. I disagree with it.
All eyes were on the North Carolina coast for days as Hurricane Dorian threatened to make landfall in September. Most cities in town just saw increased winds and rain and were spared major damage. But Dorian made landfall on the Outer Banks, and Ocracoke Island is still recovering from catastrophic damage. Some lost everything, but the residents banded together to fix what was broken. Several tornadoes were also reported during and after Dorian, including this one, which caused major damage on Emerald Isle. We'll finish out our year in review with one of the most controversial stories from 2019, the investigation on then ECU Interim Chancellor Dan Garlock. In October, these photos surfaced on social media showing Garlock drinking at the Uptown Greenville bars with students. An investigation was then launched by the UNC system regarding videos sent to the ECU Board of Trustees and several local news outlets showing Garlock engaging in these behaviors along with other accusations. The investigation found that these allegations were false, but this was after Garlock resigned at the end of October. Ron Mitchelson was then appointed the new interim chancellor of ECU. And that's your 2019 year in review for Eastern North Carolina. In the digital studio, I'm Katie Augustine. Thanks for watching and Happy New Year.